whole program I think is brilliant, and if I could tell every single person about it, I would. I'm trying to. I am trying to.
Before you joined our mental health services, what was it like?
Mad, I think. So my wife, myself and my son, because he's 10 now, so we moved away from the Isle of Wight just as he was born to follow work during the recession. And that set the tone for the last 10 years. So we moved from the Isle of Wight to Hampshire, got made redundant after a couple of years in that job, shifted up to nearby Peterborough and now Peterborough itself. So that's been 7 years we've been in and around Peterborough. Just grafting and trying to keep heads afloat, really. Both myself and my wife had undiagnosed mental conditions and disorders, which we didn't know about at the time. So the crises and the little episodes, as you know well, that you end up going through, you put it down to stress, you put it down to you had a bad day at work, you put it down to whatever. And it's not until you kind of reach a critical mass or something. Normally for us, it's a breakdown or a massive crisis or A&E, take your pick. It's all down to the same base causes generally. So my life was confusing, angry, like sheer burning rage, I think all the time, or absolute depression. It was very much swung between the two. And since finding out that I've probably got borderline personality disorder or EUPD, that makes a lot of sense, because you can look at those points and go, okay, well, I know now why I was reacting to that.
Thanks, Justin. That gives a really nice sort of idea of how things were, and quite chaotic as well.
Very chaotic.
It sounds like. So I'm just wondering, once you accessed the services and you were up and running with the Making Connections groups and the and everything else, and then the peer support groups as well, particularly the peer support groups. What was your experience once you started attending the peer support groups?
Overwhelmingly positive. The vast majority of the facilitators and the other people I've spoken to now at Mind, and I've spoken to a lot of you over the last few months, you've all been through it yourselves, and I think that's actually a really important point. In my experience, whether that's as a veteran of Iraq or whether that's through working in hospitals or all the other random things I've done, you don't truly understand something and you're not truly able to offer the right support unless you've been through it yourself. And that's a bit of a catch-22, that one, because I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
No.
However, there are so many of us that there's so much experience to draw upon. So DBT groups themselves, I think, was probably the best course I've ever done. And I've done a lot over the years, from all the 30 or so jobs I've done, and military courses and NHS courses, whatever. It's been the best explained. It's been the most relaxed. It's been, I mean, I went into it extremely skeptical, but ended up a complete convert, I suppose. I can't think of a better way of putting it. Yeah, so the whole program I think is brilliant, and if I could tell every single person about it, I would. I'm trying to. I am trying to.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And overall, what impact do you think the whole program has had, the services have had on your life?
You know this.
I'm smiling at this point, but in your words.
I do not even know how to describe this to other people except as an awakening or as an epiphany. Through the use of the course, there's no pressure, you're in a safe space, you can talk about some absolutely horrendous events in your life with zero judgment, because every single other person that you're talking to has either lived those events or they've gone through worse. And so there's not no judgment, because as human beings we judge everything, but you can go through it and go, yeah, I've lived that, And yeah, I know exactly how that feels. And so you've just got this overwhelming big hug from everyone. Well, and that is what it feels like. I got to the point of I miss my groups. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to my next set of groups when I do the MBT.
Like you say, it's been this transformation of Justin, really.
Mhm.
So you've done a lot of work, and it is down to you. You've done that work. So what does the future hold? Because you've done that work, and you've opened up your world by doing this work. So what are you doing? What's going on for the future?
I'm not sure we've got enough time to talk about it all, but the summary,
yeah,
is digital marketer for work, specialist digital marketer for work, writer for a mental health charity, which is the Safe Space Movement out of London. I do a blog for them.
It has been a privilege to see where you have come from, that first glimpse of you. There are no words really to say what that is.
Well, don't forget, and I've said this to you before, but I'll say it officially, that is down to you and the other people who run CPSL Mind and who do the groups, because it's trust. If I hadn't have felt safe, I wouldn't have attended.
An incredible story. Thank you so much.
And then it's so hard to compress it.
I want to thank you again. Sorry, Alex. I'm so proud of you, and I hope that doesn't come across as a really.
Not at all. It's not condescending. It's not patronising.
No, not at all. You should be proud of yourself, Bex.
But I really am proud of
Justin.
Justin.
That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, because you've done this. We've come in and supported and said this is what we've got to offer. But you have done the work. This is down to you.